Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're a veteran, welcome back. Today, Hans is going to discuss how to teach the dog to protect your house property, or kind of that's the topic.
Yeah. A lot of times, I mean, it's different from personal protection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you do personal protection, I am a firm believer in command attack, meaning you command the dog to attack or to protect, and the dog cannot do it unless you say so, or unless you are somehow incapacitated, like sleeping, unconscious, or not present. Then the dog,
The leadership position.
assumes leadership position because you are not there, and then so he becomes protective of you.
Mm-hmm.
And the area protection is slightly different because in the area protection, it's assumed that the dog is going to be protective of the area or your house, even if you are present, because you are not aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the keen sense of hearing or smell like the dog, so the dog will pop up, and because he hears something or smells something which you will not hear or smell.
Mm-hmm.
And there he also needs to act on his own, right? And so when we train that, it's different from the command attack, because in command I give command and dog attacks, right?
Yeah.
Where when somebody is sneaking in behind my house, I don't hear it, but my dog does.
Yeah, you haven't given the command.
And the reason why the dog is protective, because he's territorially aware, and we have that flee distance, fighting distance. When somebody enters a territory, he's basically violating these distances,
Mm-hmm.
and that causes dog to be aggressive, right? So, but that's applicable only when the dog is on its own property. So you have command attack, where you tell the dog, go ahead and protect.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have an area protection, where there is no command, but you may command the dog to be quiet. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. It's almost in reverse.
It's the opposite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I remember I used to do it in Czech with my friend. You take a needle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And poke the needle through between the glass and the putty on the window.
Mm-hmm.
Just and run a thread through it.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
right? You know that trick?
I think what you're
right?
going to say.
And you go in the bushes somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? And you tighten up the boom, boom.
Yeah.
And it makes this weird sound.
Yeah.
Right? And when you are inside with the dog,
Yeah.
because how do you tell the dog to protect on his own, right?
Yeah.
You got to communicate to him that it's okay to protect if I'm not aware of this, if there's some strange sound or something.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait for some strange sound to happen, so I'm just going to make that strange sound, right? That's it, right?
Yeah.
So I tighten up the decoy, tighten up the string.
Yeah.
And it makes it bang, bang, bang sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
And dog will perk up, right?
Yeah.
And I will say, pozor, right? But why I'm saying him pozor, not before, like when we do protection training, we say pozor on passive decoy when nothing is going on yet. The dog should be able to bark on a wall if it comes to it, right?
Yeah.
If I command it.
Yeah.
But this is, the dog is being taught to go ahead. He perks up, said, go ahead, protect.
Yeah.
right? And he protects your pet.
Yeah, the petting.
And then we make different sounds, like throwing little pebbles on the window.
Yeah.
You know, and dog perks up, and again you say pozor, right? And you can create different scenarios, you know. And the dog then, you know, you put the dog on the lead and go outside with him, and there may be a decoy, do some agitation and run away, right? So you confirm his aggression, and then you hope that the dog is gonna be more and more protective, aggressive on different sounds, or when he thinks that somebody is in his territory. Now, dogs do that on their own, most of them. You know, look at the arena. Somebody goes in your driveway, she's bound to go through.
FedEx guy came today, like, he went to like, kill the FedEx.
But what I'm talking about a little puppy and all that, right? And then also, you do the opposite, so that when the dog is barking a lot, then you come to the door and open the door.
Yeah.
And there is your friend, and you say, it's okay.
Yeah.
And that's where the it's okay come, and dog needs to diffuse.
Yeah. Whatever word that might be for some people, but
it's okay means it's not to soothe and calm the dog down. It's okay as a command for the dog to know that that person over there, it's okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah, it's not. Some people misunderstand that it's okay.
Right. A lot of people, you know, unfortunately, I choose that particular.
That's a hard one because that's what you say. It's okay. It makes sense.
So that's why I choose that command. It's okay.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's what you're gonna say.
Yeah, it's like you're not. What was the word for when they're training for? We just had this discussion with Hans. Oh, it's called detailing. That's the official word. Detailing when they're pointing. What's pointing? That's what
for detection. But yeah, I was talking to some cop once, or retired cop.
Yeah.
And I said we cannot point when we do detection because I don't want the dog to follow my hand. I want him to follow order out there, right?
Yeah.
And he says, and he said he want to discredit me. He says, well, we don't call it pointing. We call it detailing.
But it's really pointing.
I said, yeah, but it's pointing.
So it's okay is that you say it's okay.
Yeah, what's the name of the governor of California? Newsom. He said, but it's true because it's true.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah, it's pointing because it's a pointing.
It's pointing.
Excuse me that you call it.
You can call it whatever you want.
You can call it whatever heck you want.
Man.
You know, you don't have to use a specific jargon.
Yeah. So you can do that.
As long as we understand each other, right?
Yeah.
And as long as it's logical and natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're diffusing the dog. It's okay.
Yeah.
Somebody came to the door.
Right. And we practice you see how it dovetails.
Yeah.
We practice it's okay during the protection training.
Yep, we do that all the time.
Right. Every time we're done with the protection, we say it's okay.
Yep.
And we go and we go with the dog by all the people who watching, sitting, and everybody is petting it. So we say it's okay, pet on the ass.
Even the decoy sits there. Yeah.
Even the decoy.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is that they pet the dog. It induces oxytocin, which is friendly bonding hormone. So that we conditioning the dog by classical conditioning by saying it's okay to induce the oxytocin, the bonding hormone.
Yeah.
And then if you do it, 100 times or whatever, or more, it becomes conditioned.
It was funny on YouTube. I don't do it a lot, and I don't try to be mean at all. It's just since I learned from Hans, I have just a little bit more knowledge, so I make these comments for these cookie trainers, and they're just their heads I think are spinning when I say oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Why don't you just pet the dog, rather than shoving in cookies?
Yeah,
their heads are I think exploding.
Oh yeah,
usually.
Yeah, but another thing is with the conditioning, people say, well, they talk to me, and I said, well, did you do this? It's not working. They say, I said, did you do this? And they say, yeah, I've done it. And I said, did you do it 300 times?
Yeah.
No. Well, how many times did you do? I said, well, once or twice. So when you say once or twice,
Yeah.
it's like when you're telling to the cop, how many beers did you have? And he said one or two.
Doesn't go off well.
You don't remember, huh?
It's like going to the gym. Well, I'm not getting stronger. My muscles are not growing. How many times have you been to the gym? I don't know, once or twice. It's the same concept, right? It's no different.
Yeah.
No,
That's like that guy, Dwight Johnson. He says, yeah, you get this body, it's easy, you know. You just got to go to gym every day for 6 hours for 20 years.
That's it.
No big deal.
No secret.
We had a joke in Czech. Czechs for some reason have a nice lawn.
Uh-huh.
Like an English lawn. It's like the epitome of perfection.
Very proud of.
And the weather over there is not conducive to because we get snow.
Yeah, to force you.
And all that. It's just not conducive to the lawn like when you live somewhere.
Not like London or England, like just.
Right. And so this Czech guy came to England and he sees these perfect lawns, right? Yeah. And he talks to the groundskeeper and he says, how do you get this perfect lawn like that? And he says, well, you gotta fertilize, you gotta mow it, water it. And he says, well, I do the same thing. And I don't have the results like you. And he says, yeah, but then you gotta do it for 200 years.
Yeah.
So that's it, same thing, you got to keep doing it all the time, right?
Yeah.
But going back to the house protection, it's really no big deal, right? You just encourage behavior which you like and discourage which you don't like.
Yeah.
That's basically all dog training there is,
Yeah.
See, it's like I could write another one-page book, right?
Yeah.
How to train the dog.
Encourage.
Pet him when he does good stuff and correct him when he does bad stuff. And that's it. That's already,
Yeah.
Anyway, but we gotta understand there's a difference between the personal protection command, where you walk in a strange place and suddenly you need the dog to protect, so you give a command.
Yeah.
Or a little child is running towards you, so the dog cannot protect. Where in the house or so, or
Car could be
car,
a vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's protection of the den, and that becomes nuisance. A lot of times because some of the dogs, once they like the protection thing of the den is genetically developed, genetically default. Okay, it's genetic default,
predisposed or something.
Yeah. I remember my dog, man. I had this Bronco and Jake.
Yeah.
I had this Bronco and I had to hold water. People say, "Oh yeah, you just do it for the money." My water was so bad I couldn't give it to the dog, so I was stealing water from the spigot on Circle K, about 10 miles away from where I live.
She held it back.
And I'm holding it in my Bronco, so I took all the seats out, so I could put like 15 buckets there. And I'm holding water, and I had only my seat in that Bronco. Full-size Bronco, 1981 model.
All the seats were gone. The other ones.
All of the seats. I don't need.
Yeah, you don't need it. Yeah.
Right. So I was going on baseline, and this guy walked by my, and I did, I don't like to do that, but I did pull a little bit into the crosswalk.
You get a red light.
I had a red light, and this guy is crossing the street, and he put a hand on the hood of my truck, because I was kind of in his crosswalk.
Yeah.
And Jake, man, in the back, laying there, I caught him in corner of my eye. I could see him, he's flying, man.
Yeah.
Over where the passenger seat normally would be.
Yeah.
And hit the freaking windshield and it created this spider web, like as if you would hit it with a brick.
Yeah.
And it was like, boom. and then he chew on the glass, and the shards of the glass which were peeling from the windshield cut his
so
lips,
blooded.
and so it's blood all over the windshield, right? And this guy was just standing there, and I thought his eyes are gonna pop out of his head, man. And I look at Jake, I said, "Good boy, Jake."
That guy's still getting therapy. Poor guy's like,
Yeah, he's screaming,
permanently scarred.
screaming 20 years later.
He's in an institution.
Cold sweat, middle of night.
The therapist just cannot get to the bottom of the story.
Well, I figure I can make it into training, right? You know, I mean, the windshield is already messed up.
Yeah.
So I pet the dog. He didn't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Den protection. You know, the car is like a den.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that, somehow the dogs love to protect car and bed. That's why sometimes the dogs are overly protective of the bedroom, even against the spouse.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this content so far, please subscribe to our channel. Also, Hans has a podcast channel called Dog Training for Life. Check that out so you can listen to the audio version.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's again caused by the person not being in leadership position.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's about it.
Yeah.
So, you know, anyway, I want to recap it. So basically, you need to encourage the dog to be protective when there are weird sounds around the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even little puppy. I've seen literally 7-week-old puppies just, you know, they hear something and they run to the door.
Yeah.
You know, running and barking and all that.
Yeah.
You know, I say, "Good puppy, good boy." you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And people say, "Well, then you have a dog which is overly aggressive." And I say, you know, well, it's, you know, people have dogs for tens of thousands of years because of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
saber-toothed tiger is coming to your cave. You want the dog to tell you,
Yeah.
and you want to encourage that type of a behavior. Now there are dogs out there who lost that instinct, or the instinct is buried so far into their genetics that they don't do that.
Yeah.
And so now you have a dog, and somebody can walk in your house and walk around. The dog is not going to do anything.
This the guy on YouTube that does his own. He knows dogs. You remember there's one guy basically does it. I don't know his name, but he acts as the bad guy too. So he's coming through the door, and then he does an imitation of the dog, and he puts the name of what kind of dog it is. But it's himself playing him,
Right.
and it's
yeah.
And one of them was he played like a Labrador
Or a husky.
Yeah, like, hey, what are you doing? And the guy's like, I'm robbing your house. Oh, cool. Let me go. I'll show you where it's at.
So, you know, and there are dogs like that, and you can get that protectiveness out of them too. You know, I have this guy in Italy, and he's really good following my instructional training, and he has this big Presa Canary or Cane Corso. I never can tell the difference. And he's at the point now that he goes to bed, and he ties a dog to this post he has in his room, and he goes to bed, and the decoy comes in the middle of the night, kind of sneaks in, you know. So that's what we're doing right now. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and so when he comes, he has the golf club cover too, and he agitates crap out of the dog.
Yeah.
So the dog becomes more alert to these little noises and stuff. So you wake up that instinct, you know. So he works on its own, even so you're there. But he knows you are not in charge because you cannot hear or you cannot see the sounds. Or,
You're sleeping.
Or even if you're not sleeping.
Okay.
Yeah, because they hear more stuff than we do.
Yeah.
So they have a keener senses.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a little different. It's kind of contradicted to the command attack training, but it's different.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why the training is different.
Same but different, but yeah.
No. Okay, that's it.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. If you're interested in purchasing any instructional videos from Hans, please click below this video. You'll see all the links. Visit alpinecaninereal.com. Also, if you're interested in a puppy or a young adult trained dog, make sure you contact Hans. These dogs come in from the Czech Republic. That's why
Hopefully, they're not going to have any tariffs.
oh, well, depends when you're watching this. That's another
Well,
thing.
they stop it today for 90 days, so we'll see what happens.
Depends when you watch this, but
Yeah.
they're phenomenal dogs that come from the Czech Republic, and make sure you contact Hans, and he'll give you.
I want to say something about that. There's undercurrent. There's one or two people or a few people now and then, and some of them are pretty famous. So I'm kind of honored, and they talk shit about me, so to speak, or not so to speak, and literally.
Just call for.
And they keep saying, Czech dogs, what's the big difference? They're from Czech Republic. There's a difference because the culture of the people in Czech Republic was behind Iron Curtain, and they had different preferences why to breed these dogs. And these dogs are basically coming from Czech Border Patrol. And we just translated, Gabor did, the seminar for the Viziri, which we had in Puerto Rico, and Yuri passed away, if you don't know, and he described there how they raised those dogs. It was a complex thing. There was testing involved, genetics involved. They brought East German top dogs over there and bred them, and then they tested them. And some of them who were exceptional, they would then use them for studs, and they would do different breed tests, like dog is either dog improver with all females or dog improver with some females, or dog maintainer, the quality is maintained. And if he's not a dog maintainer, they would eliminate it from the breeding.
Yeah.
And it's a unique program. Yeah. Plus, it involves the breeding in the male lions and all that. We should do podcasts on this. I got to put my stuff together to talk about it. But what I'm saying is, these dogs, they were different. Okay, and it has nothing to do with a geographical origin. What it has to do is with the culture of the people. Back then, the Czechs were tougher than, so tough people breed tough dogs, right? And then the purpose was bred for the Czech Border Patrol or Czechoslovakian Border Patrol, and it used about 1,500 dogs to maintain this particular program. So it's not some kind of even good breeder having 1 or 2 or 10 dogs. There was 1,500 dogs involved in this. And, so anyway, I just want to mention that.
Yeah, we'll do other stuff on it because I think it's important just people to know, to understand. I know we did some stuff, but it's always good to read, Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everyone. Please subscribe and share, and we will see you guys next time.
Okay. Ahoy.
So Hans has a membership program. We just started this not long ago, depending on when you're obviously watching the video. It involves, it's the link is down below this video. We have a whole dedicated page to it. Also, I'm going to tell you about it, but you can go to alpinecaninereal.com and you will see it says join membership right there. There's a button right there.
It's a Facebook.
Yeah, it's a private. Yep.
Private.
I'm going to
membership thing.
Yeah. So what it is, it's if the videos are great, and Hans has some great videos, but ultimately you need help with your dog, right? You have behavior modification issues, you have obedience issues, and this private Facebook group is where Hans personally helps you. the great thing here is that basically it's a library of things as the membership builds, as the people are asking questions. So you will also see other people's issues. So it's a wonderful hub of knowledge. You can upload the video of the issue, which is the big one, because Hans, you're going blind a lot of time. People telling you type, but video is the best way, correct? Yeah. So you have that opportunity inside this private Facebook group to upload your issue, and Hans will be there to help.
Yeah, and it's an issue about the obedience itself, because when I started training dogs and all that, I did it from books and stuff. Nobody ever told me anything.
Yeah.
I learned a lot on my own, and then I got some input from other people, but you can read something or listen to something and still do it wrong.
Yeah.
You need, unless you do it 100 times and they say, oh yeah, I forgot this and I forgot that. Where if you record your session and send me, download it, let's say on YouTube, and put it as a link,
Whichever way. Yeah.
and I look at it, I can immediately tell you what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Right? And what you should do better, and what you do good, and what you should do next.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what the group is all about. Right. And there's going to be there are, or it's already active. Yeah. There are two ways to do it. One is the virtual hunts, and we're still expanding on the virtual hunts.
It's an artificial intelligence. I was going to.
Yeah, it's artificial intelligence where you can ask questions 24/7, and you will get an answer, and you won't get a generic answer which was collected by AI from internet. You get mine answer, because Gabor inserts my articles and my videos and my posts into the memory of the AI, and the AI reaches into their memory to answer your questions. And there's literally thousands of topics I wrote about, and even so it's active, we keep adding on it, continuously, and eventually it's gonna be like a big book of what I teach and my philosophy. So, book, you have everything there, but this will be just like an encyclopedia, like a book. You want to look at.
You ask your problem.
Yeah, you ask about Russian Revolution, right? So you go to Russian Revolution.
Have that in there, but
okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you want to see how to split atoms, so you go and look up split atom. In the encyclopedia, of course, we are not talking about stuff like that, but maybe we will one day. So, and so that's the virtual hunts, what I call it, the artificial intelligence answers. And the beauty of it is that you don't have to worry about calling me at 2:00 at night, right? You can tap into it anytime, 24/7.
Yeah.
And then if you don't get the answer, or you can try to reformulate it, right? And if still don't get an answer, then you can ask me within the timeline, right?
Yeah.
And I will answer it. I'll go there every day and I see what somebody is asking, and I will answer a question personally. Okay.
Yeah. And another neat feature of the AI is if we have a video, let's say it's 30 minutes long, and you ask the question, but your answer lies like 10 minutes and 30 seconds into the video, well, it'll start the video at that 10 minutes and 30 seconds where the answer is to your question. Now that's powerful, because we have a lot of video in the course, and that's a huge time saver, and also just pinpoints you to the where the issue, where your answer is. So please click below this video, and the link is there. And also, again, you can go to alpinecaninereal.com, and it says join membership. There's a button. All right, guys, that's it.
Yeah. Ahoy.